Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Master Duel video for you. Coming at you with some more Radiant Typhoon Sky Striker. This time I'm specifically using the list by RJ that got top 10 in the latest season of Rating Duels. And not only did I lift the list, but I also watched one of RJ's live streams, and it was so helpful just learning how to play this deck. I'm going to link it down in the description below to give you some excellent insight from an obviously excellent player. Now, one thing you'll notice is that we're actually going first. This is a Sky Striker list that you can go first with, and this is going to be a great example of demonstrating a turn one hand. Here we have the Radiant Typhoon Eldam, and I'm actually going to use it in order to start our entire combo line. And you'll see just how much advantage we gain off of a turn one combo line with this build. Alright, we're going to go Special Summon Eldam. Eldam effect gets to add Swen. Now we can Special Summon Radiant Typhoon Swen and activate to add Vision. Here I'm going to link the Swen plus Eldam into the Sky Striker Ace Camellia. Now Camellia effect is going to dump Engage, and we're going to link Camellia away into the Kagari. Now, of course, we can use Kagari's effect in order to get that Engage back, but before we activate Engage, I want to get some spells in my graveyard. We're going to use Vision to draw two, and then I'm actually going to discard the Linkage. And the reason that I discarded Linkage is because I can just search other copy, right? The other options were Chant and Droplet, and I could have just discarded the Chant. That might have even been the better call, but Chant, I wanted to be able to search the Mystical Space Typhoon. Sounds kind of weird, but this is actually not a bad inboard piece to set on turn one, because there are a lot of decks that use like a field or continuous or equip spell card as part of their combo line, and MST effectively can negate those by stopping them from resolving. Think like JJ Cooltoon and stuff like that, right? Alright, now that our graveyard is loaded up with spells, I'm going to go for the Engage for Lemniscate, and we're finding a call by as well. I wanted to activate Engage before Desire so that way I didn't lose my Lemniscate. I only play one copy because I only own one copy. That's the only difference between mine and RJ's build. I'm considering crafting a second one though, because this deck is really strong, and having a second copy is really important if you're playing Desires, because losing your one Lemniscate to Desires sucks. It's not good. Alright, gonna go for Desires. Here's everything that got banished off of that. A couple of Rays. One of the Engages, a couple of Widow Anchors, but nothing too scary. Actually, all three Widow Anchor. That's a little bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We find another Engage, as well as a Vision off of the Desires there. We're going to use Engage to fetch the Ray, and then get a card draw. Normal Summon Ray, I'm going to link off the Ray and the Kagari into Ace 0. Ace 0 adding the Engage back from the graveyard, which I can use yet again. Obviously, I would have grabbed Widow Anchor here if it was still in my deck, but in this case, I'll just grab Linkage, get a draw, and then we can set 5 and then pass. So look at this turn 1 end board, right? We have Ace 0, which can destroy an opponent's card and then summon out Ray plus Rose. And then we have 5 back rows, which are all their own forms of disruption, right? Obviously, Call By can banish and negate cards. MST, as mentioned, can pop a continuous or field spell as it's trying to resolve, or equip spell. Lemniscate can bounce. Droplet can negate. The Linkage is a little bit shaky as actual disruption, but I mean, there's still some options that we can go into, potentially like the Amatsu or something like that. And we still have 5 cards in our hand as well. One other thing that's really important to note is that, with the exception of like Widow Anchor and Linkage, your back rows aren't really affected if you have monsters in your main monster zones. Excuse me, sorry about that. So yeah, even if you end up with like Ray or Rose in your main monster zones, the only thing I wouldn't be able to activate here is the Linkage, because Lemniscate doesn't care if you have monsters in your main monster zones, you can still use it. So I think that's another really strong aspect of this deck going first. You don't have to manage, or this build in particular, you don't have to manage your main monster zones the way some other Sky Striker builds have to. Oh, that's right. This opponent's on like a really weird... It's like a stun deck with card destruction? Question mark? Anyway, I chained Maxi here just in case. Yeah, again, some kind of weird stun deck that plays card destruction for some reason. They're going to normal summon the Morgana. I'm going to use Droplet here, not only to negate the effect, but also to drop it down to 1000 attack. That way they can't just threaten to battle over the Ace Zero. Of course, I could use MST and pop the Clockwork Knight at any time, but at this point, I'm looking to save MST and pop like one of the floodgates they try to set, but our opponent's just going to concede right away. And can you blame them with how much sheer advantage we have? It's just completely insurmountable for them at this point. So yeah, I wanted to start with this duel, even though it wasn't like the most back and forth, because it demonstrates, I think, really well, one, how Radiant Typhoon cards lead to Sky Striker plays, and two, what a turn 1 combo line for this deck tends to look like. But of course, I have some other games to show you. Let's go into the next one. Okay, here's a duel up against Magnet Warrior, and I remember this one being pretty decently back and forth, so let's dive in and take a peek, see what we got here. Again, we are going to be going first, and yeah, I mean, obviously this hand is really, really good. Going to go draw Phase Vision. We'll give up the Widow Anchor because I can search another one later. And then we're going to go Engage. Engage for Ray in this scenario. After which I can normal summon Ray and then link off into the Kagari. Obviously, I would love to have another spell in my graveyard to be drawing cards with these engages, but I guess I could have activated Linkage. It just felt like a waste, honestly, because I can still activate Linkage for 0 for Engage, for searches and draws. I'm doing that right now, actually. But here I'm going to go for the multi-roll first. Multi-roll is one of those cards where I'm never sure if I'm valuing it too highly or not, but here I like having it to get this Widow Anchor out of my graveyard and face down on the field. Now I'm going to use the Engage from Ace Zero for the Lemnis Gate. Here's Chant, but I'm going to use it to add MST and not Radiant Typhoon cards. So that way I don't have my main monster zones getting clogged up, and then I can make use of this Widow Anchor that I'm setting. So again, ending on Ace Zero plus a bunch of face down cards, MST, Lemnis Gate, Widow Anchor, and Call By. And again, only one of these actually cares about my main monster zones being empty. So we're basically just going to try to use the Widow Anchor to negate and steal first, and then use our Ace Zero, which would also fill up our main monster zones. That's always something you gotta think about with Sky Striker, but again, the nice thing about this build is that you don't really have to think about it a lot. Okay, here's their Deuteron. I'm gonna let it resolve. I think I actually ended up letting the Magnet Bonding resolve. No, they just had the plus-minus in hand anyway, that was it. So here's they go to use the Sigma Plus effect on the Epsilon. I'm gonna chain Called By on the Epsilon, which forces them to have an extender here. I'm a little surprised they didn't chain Magnet Bonding to shuffle it back. Although, to be fair, even if they made Flux Oschenfeld here, they would still not be able to revive the Epsilon. Looks like they're going to go for Sigma minus normal summon plus Sigma minus in hand effect with a second copy for the Conduction Warrior Magnum. Okay, now here they revive Telucian, and they're going to activate the plus minus effect. They're going to try to swing in for lethal here, but I'm not really worried about it because I know I can stop this, and also I'm not worried about follow-up because they've only got 3 cards left. I know 2 of these are actually Magnet Bonding. So there's really only 1 card left I don't know, and I don't think it could be anything, except for maybe Block Dragon, terribly scary. But if they had Block Dragon, I think they would have definitely fired it off by now. I'm going to use Widow Anchor to steal their biggest monster. They're going to try to destroy my Ace Zero in response. And of course, we're simply going to respond with the Ace Zero effect. Popping to Lucian, and then we can use Widow Anchor to steal the plus minus. Now they're going to try to battle over the Ray. I'm going to send off the Ray in order to make a Kagari. Kagari effect will wheel back the Engage for follow-up plays. And they can battle over the Kagari, sure. But then I can just revive the Ray in defense mode. And now their Sigma can't do anything because my Ray and Rose both have 1500 defense and it can't battle over. Or obviously the plus minus. Now here they're going to go for Magnet Bonding, fusing the Plasma Magnum on board with the Sigma plus in Banish in order to make Flux Oschenfeld. Flux Oschenfeld is going to activate, reviving Electromagnet Beta. I'm letting all this happen, by the way. I'm not chaining my Lemnis Gate or Ash Blossom because I know they're going to try to make Gallant Granite here. And I can use either of those cards to stop the Gallant Granite. I decided to use the Lemnis Gate, just in case the last card I didn't know about was another Searcher, or Block Dragon itself somehow. That way we can put back the Gallant Granite before it can activate. And we'll even in-phase MST like it's 20... Or 2006. 2006? Nah, that sounds a little bit weird. But yeah, like I said, pretty decent back and forth game against Magnet Warrior. Not only showing off another turn 1 combo line, but also us really playing it out and using our disruption against our opponent's stuff. Again, it's funny how this Sky Striker list really, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that different from the one I was playing before. But before, I was still going second on purpose, assuming that's what you had to do. It's such a different perspective playing these turn 1 combo lines out and then controlling the game down from there. It's really cool. I have one last game to show you, and then we'll take a look at the deck list. And this game is going to be against Dragon Maid Draco Tail. I got this confused with another replay in a different video, but I'm not sure if that video is going out first, or anyway, I'm talking shop right now. Going first again, normally I try to weave in at least one going second game, but here I felt like going first was kind of the exceptional part of this deck, so I wanted to show that off a little bit more. Gonna go draw phase Vision, they're gonna Ash Blossom it, we love to see it. I love opening Vision and or Chant because your opponent will almost always assume that you're gonna be on Radiant Typhoon. Now here we're gonna go Rhoda, and I'm gonna chain Linkage. That'll set me up with 3 spells in the yard, and an Ace-0 to search out the Engage. We also opened Pillar of the Future Cyanos, which this card in this deck is actually insane, especially on turn 1. The only reason I'm not making more use of it here is because we already have access to Ace-0 and Ray, and I don't want to discard a Lemniscate, because again, this is my only copy, and we really need to hang on to that. Okay, here's Ace-0 for Engage. We're going to activate Engage. I'm going to fetch a multi-roll here because I know I'm going to be able to do some more shenanigans. Now here they're going to go for the Faimena, which I was like, okay, Faimena. Are they going to send like Orgola or something? No, they actually fuse Lubellion plus Bestial Druiswarm into the Chaos Star Source Dragon, and that's going to get to pop both Ace-0 and the multi-roll. Not a problem even a little bit though. I can normal summon my Ray here, and then Ray for Kagari, and then now I can go Kagari F in order to get back the Engage. You know what I could have done with the multi-roll though, and what I was actually about to do before they went into Chaos Star Source Dragon? Because I was talking about how Cyanos discarding Lemniscate was a little bit but with multi-roll up, it becomes a lot less scary, right? So with Ace-0 here, what I could have done is Cyanos, pitch Lemniscate, special Rose, then we could have gone into Kagari. Again, keep in mind, this would be in the main monster zone because Ace-0 would have been the EMZ. Then Kagari wheels back Engage, and then basically from there, in order to clear up your main monster zones, you would just make a Zeke and then have Zeke banish itself. I think that's one of the reasons why there's 2 Zeke in this extra deck. That looks really weird, but Cyanos is really good at setting up plays. It's also, however, really good at clogging up your main monster zone. So by linking into Zeke and then having Zeke banish itself, you clear up your zones and you can make those plays. But here our opponent just popped our board, so we don't have to really worry about doing that. Alright, yeah, we'll set 3, pass over to our opponent. We've got Lemniscate, Widow Anchor, and Called By. Our opponent has just the 2 cards of the Chaos Star Source Dragon. Now, obviously, I would have wanted to have ended on the Ace-0 instead of the Kagari here, but you can only summon 1 Ace-0 per turn. So, yeah, unfortunately, cannot end on that. They're going to go for the Lubellion effect. I'm going to chain Call By here to banish the Bestial Lubellion so they can't get their search, and they won't be able to summon with the other copy either. And I'm not really scared at this point, because, like, yeah, they can battle over my Kagari, but if they do, I'll just revive Ray and then go off again next turn. My opponent, realizing this, is just going to concede right away, so... Alright, there's our gameplay. Now let me show you the deck list, and we'll wrap up here. Okay, so here is Radiant Typhoon's Sky Striker. This is almost exactly card for card, again, RJ's list. The main difference is because I only own 1 Lemniscate, I played a 3rd droplet instead. So the actual list that got top 10 in rating duels looks like this. And as I mentioned before, I am actually heavily considering crafting the Lemniscate, even though I didn't really play Sky Striker that much outside of the last couple of days, well, really the last couple of weeks. It just has such a good matchup against Cool Tune that it's really performing extremely well in this metagame. lest we forget, Sky Striker is already just a pretty good deck by itself, like matchups notwithstanding. And of course, Radiant Typhoon, when those cards got released, especially Vision, was a massive buff to Sky Striker as well. Sky Striker is also going to be getting more really good quick play spells to help it out at some point in the near future. You know, stuff like the Fallen and the Virtuous whenever we get the branded support, or Forbidden Crown. Those are very, very good quick play spells for board breaking, but not just board breaking, they're still good to set on turn 1 as well. Making them excellent fits for the Sky Striker list. And again, that's more disruption that isn't contingent on your main monster zones being clear, which is really, really good to not have to worry about that kind of thing. Again, for our list here, the only effects that really care about that are Engage, Widow Anchor, and Linkage. Beyond that, it doesn't really matter if our main monster zones are occupied. And on our opponent's turn, that's really only going to matter for the Widow Anchor, as mentioned. So that ends up being a very, very convenient way to play this deck. Which again, you know, it's one thing to look at the deck list, but I was actually able to gain that insight from watching RJ's stream. So like I said, I'm going to link that down below. Definitely go ahead and check the video out there. Insanely good player, insanely helpful info. So definitely wanted to make sure that I linked it here. Yeah, so for my list in particular, or for, I guess, me only having one Lemnis Gate, the Pot of Desires isn't quite as good, because I did lose a couple of games where I Desires banished the Lemnis Gate, and that really sucked. So, like I said, if you're going to copy this list and you only own one Lemnis Gate, I would actually consider maybe not playing the Pot of Desires. Like, if you own Upstart Goblins, you could play those instead. I actually don't own Upstart Goblin, but RJ didn't play it, so that ended up working out pretty well for me. We're also on a full playset of Triple Tactics Talent, which is very, very nice, but I understand that not everyone will necessarily own a full playset. I guess at that point, you could consider some other board breaker spells, but I would not go for like Raigeki or Lightning Storm. I would recommend Book of Eclipse, or if you don't mind dropping some extra deck cards, maybe even Super Polymerization. These are not only really, really good against Cool Tune, among other decks, but also, again, they're quick play spells, so they can be set going first and still be really useful. I think trying to jam a bunch of going second board breakers and turn this into a going second deck is not the way to do it. I think going second Sky Striker is still fine, but I would change the build if I was going to go second all the time. Oh, if you're wondering why Clockwork Knight is in the extra deck, by the way, it's for Cynos. If you go summon Cynos, summon Rose from deck, and then link the two of them away, you can then... and then you can link away the Cynos into Clockwork Knight, as well as Rose into a Sky Striker monster. From there, you can use the Cynos Graveyard effect in order to banish and then special summon, the Rose. So that's why Clockwork Knight is in here, as a really easy way of linking off the Cynos, because Cynos is always treated as a Sky Striker card, but it's not a Sky Striker ace. And the Sky Striker Link monsters, they specifically need a Sky Striker ace. So again, if you only open Cynos, the way to get it into the graveyard to extend and get a second copy of Rose is to link it into Clockwork Knight. Okay, I think that covers pretty much everything I have to say about the list. So again, as I mentioned a couple times before, if you want to see some real insightful gameplay beyond what I've got here, well beyond what I've got here, go ahead and check out RJ's stream, link down below, where he's playing this deck in rating duels. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. But before we finish off this video, let's move on to our outro so we can thank our YouTube members and Patreon subscribers. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.